What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is Martin for here once again.
Oh God. Whew, what's going on YouTube? It has been a while since I've sat in this spot with this lights, with this camera, with this computer. And I said I was going to do this. This is why I'm here, because I can't tell you how badly I want to be asleep right now. You know what time it is? 6:15 in the morning. Why am I recording a Scandal review at 6:15 in the morning? Don't even worry about it. This is the time to do it, believe it or not. So, actually, truth be told, I wish that this episode in particular was a little bit better to particularly do a review on, because I almost didn't do it just because the episode was a little bland to me. But since I said it, I'm doing it. And I'm going to still have to do some things on last week. And really just last week, this will probably be very short. Last week, everybody else that did a review said the same thing. Like, okay, it was cute. They were on the little beach and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. Okay, her name is Julia Baker. She's ordering wine and whatnot. Okay, fine. But that moment when he literally gave I wasn't the only, I can't remember who else I was watching that thought the same thing that I thought when Jake was, dealing with her Skittles down there. And she was just like, stop. I'm like, girl, do you have to do the quivering lip for every moment? I'm sure it probably was good, but it wasn't just like, it wasn't, no. Because she was just like, his fucking knuckles was just about to make her just squirt whatever. I was thinking, they're on a beach, but when you're on a beach, your hands, you've been in the sand and you've been touching all this stuff, and there's probably, grit all over your fingers. And I just felt like putting that in a vagina is cause for yeast infection. I just never thought that. It didn't sound like a good idea. But that was one thing from last week. The other thing that everybody else was talking about, and I couldn't really put my finger on what it was that looked off about Cyrus's head, but I couldn't figure out what it was. It was something about him that just looked off. But it was his hair. But it just didn't register to me the first time I saw it. But he sure enough was looking like somebody that tried to style him with some motherfucking Elmer's glue. Because it was just like... Anyways, shit, what else in that first episode? Oh. Is there anything else after that? Melly going crazy and eating chips and being a bum. I don't know why. Let me just go say this. This is gonna be this whole review is gonna be all over the fucking place. I lost the thought. Hold on, come back to me. Oh, there we go. I don't know why. I know why Melly's. She's distraught. It was her child. Okay, good. But we didn't even see the children until mid to the third season. It just seemed like they were always off to boarding school or something somewhere. So I was under the impression that she really didn't too much give that much of a fuck about them. So for her to be doing all these stunts and shows and eating chicken and shit, I guess. But I'm just like, I don't know if I buy that. I understand it's still your child. I'm not going to be insensitive to that, but it's just like, why are you doing all this now when there was a disconnect between you and your children this whole... Whatever. Do your thing, boo. Eat your Popeyes. But, the read that Abby and Olivia did to each other in that White House park or not driveway, whatever the fuck that shit is. I was like, oh, oh, damn, girl, Abby, you had a good one. You did, cause Olivia was coming back trying to talk about what Harrison would want, and bitch was like, you know what, Harrison doesn't want anything anymore. Harrison would have wanted you to be here. Harrison would have wanted this, blah 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 blah. But none of that even matters anymore because Harrison is dead, bitch. And Olivia was, just so distraught, and she was just like, uh, I've forgiven you for a lot of things, but one thing I cannot forgive you for is trying to insinuate that I was the cause of Harrison's death. And he tried to walk away, and then she stopped. She was like, wait a minute, bitch. Yes, you know what? I did leave. I did. I was on the island. But you know what, bitch? You were right fucking here. And you let the shit fall in fucking part two. So where the fuck were you at? Okay? Shit. So she came back with a good one. So, that was a cute little read battle. I don't think there's anything else from the first episode other than that whole scene where what is it? What's that boy name? Huck was in the little store and shit, and he was like, I can't see you unless you have an appointment. She was like, I have an appointment. He was like, okay, well, I can't see, there's nothing, you don't have any hardware. Just bought a new phone. It's not broken. Damn. She broke that shit. She's like, you know what? Fine, bitch. I thought that scene was kind of funny. But that's pretty much from the first one. This one, honestly, was boring. This one that I just watched from last night was kind of eh. Cyrus blackmailed Olivia to do some work and shit. Something about they deposited money into her account and the IRS is gonna see the shit and some. Mm-hmm. And then we got some old wheelchair bitch and her husband fighting and trying to go to some State of the Union speech for gun control. All that's fine and dandy. And Millie's on the grave eating motherfucking Lay's chips and shit. I'm just like, why is she putting on this show? Like, what is this? I feel like this has to be a combination of more shit than just her son passing. Cause it just doesn't seem, I don't know. I'm trying not to sound disingenuous, about her child passing, but it just seemed like before that, we didn't see like a connection between her and her children. Her children didn't too much give a fuck about either one of their parents. Hell, his son that died was trying to take down his father's fucking presidency. Okay, moving right along. And Millie's talking about she ain't gonna go to the shit because she sees no point and she's all broken and shit. Her and Cyrus have a moment like, oh, we're not the same because my child died. He's like, oh, I'm not the same because the love of my life died. And blah, blah, blah. So let's just move. Honestly, that whole thing about, okay, the bitch stuck a fucking corkscrew in her husband's leg. Ow. How'd she get that bitch in there? And how he didn't fight her off if she in a wheelchair? That's neither here nor there. I'm gonna get everything else out of the way before the part that I really wanna, the two parts that I really want to get into. So, Miss Olivia, she sees the president. She helps the president do his speech. He gives this whole thing about gun control, and it's all sentimental and shit. And everybody's on his side. Olivia's in her red dress, cool. But Liv grabs a bottle of that '94 bubbly wine. Hands her old hot in the ass self to Jake's apartment, hotel room, whatever that was, and made it seem like she was about to do like one of those, oh, I'm Olivia, I'm gonna pop up and read you, or I'm gonna say something really intelligent to you, and you're gonna be all blah blah blah. You know how Olivia just does her entrances and stuff. And she gets there and she's like, I'm not gonna. Because they tried to call before and all the other shit. But she gets there, and he's like, like, what's the deal? Like, she's like, this isn't a booty call. If I'm gonna summon you, I can summon you, some shit. And the next thing I know, she's in her little Trisco. Next thing I know, she's like, whoop, everything just naked. And Jake's like, oh, okay, and proceeds. And I'm just like, Liv, you looked. In this particular scene, you look like a old $2 You look like an old bitch, an old $2 hoe in this show, because you had your heels on. It would have made a difference to me For some reason, it just made her look bad. It made her value decrease because for some reason having her heels still on, them knee-high boots were still on, wrapped and clutched to Jay's chest and torso, and she was just naked, plus probably exposed to the elements and shit, just getting pounded by the white man. And I felt like if she took her shoes off, I would have looked at the scene with more grace for some reason. But the fact that she just had them boots on just made... And then we got Cyrus, child. Oh, Lord. I don't know how... I really have such mixed emotions about Cyrus throughout watching this show. Because I hate him one minute, and next thing I know, I just want to cry for him. And then I just feel for him a lot. And then I just want him to be stabbed in the chest sometimes. I just don't know how to feel about Cyrus a lot of times. Because I really did feel bad when James died. I genuinely wanted to cry. Because that is fucked up. Granted, he pretty, in a way, sort of brought it onto himself. But still, it's a fucked up situation. So now, and when they did this whole scene, I was just like, I hope they're not doing what I think they're doing. They're doing it. They're doing it. They had him at a bar, and then the guy comes over, tries to order him a drink, and at first he's like, oh, well, you know, I'm not interested. And the guy's like, oh, you're seeing someone. He's like, well, because he still had the ring on, and he's like, well, no, yes, not really. I mean, in all technicalities, you're not, because whoever you're seeing is maggot food. No offense, but it's true. So the guy, you know, was like, you know, it's okay, it's cool. So eventually Cyrus is just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm getting me some dick. And goes back to said bar, meets up with said man, takes said man to room, and pretty much the man is like, did he say he's a sex worker, or did I miss that? Something like he's a sex worker or some shit. And mind you, the man was fine. I didn't know that man looked good. But it looked like Cyrus was gonna not do it because he said he was a sex worker, or I guess basically a male prostitute. And he was just like, oh no, I'm not gonna do this, and blah blah blah. And the guy just stripped naked and just like, what's up? I'm right here. It's right here. What we gonna do? You know, so that's pretty much the episode. I thought that last part was funny. Liv, take your boots off next time, girl. And Cyrus, wear a condom. Or he'll wear a condom. I don't know. You know, they never really insinuate to who does what and where in that relationship, in Cyrus's relationships. But yeah. That's the episode, y'all. I'm glad I was able to muster up the strength, baby. I hope, I ain't gonna make no promises on this one, but I hope to be back for the official premiere of the Bad Girls Club Redemption season. I watched the little preview. I mean, it's pretty much just introducing the girls, and I did a video about each of the individual girls and how I feel about them a long time ago. So go watch that. But I hope to be back for the season premiere thing. I hope. There's some fuck shit that we're going to get there when we get there. But anyways, thank you guys so much for being patient and watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully it's sooner than later. Alright, y'all. Peace.
Like, share, subscribe.
Javon Washington.